You found my name in the rain on the porch. I kept it small like a pin in a glove. Your shadow leaned on the apple crate step, and the clock in the hall would not answer us. Stay a little while, stay a little near. Your breath on my cheek like a borrowed fear. Dance me slow, paper moon lace. Hold my hand in a stranger place. Hold my hand, sweet and still we could disappear. Dance me slow and leave me here. Your collar was white, but your eyes were bold, like a key in a jar with a secret hold. I heard the boards count softly our feet, and the room grew thin as a candle leaf. Stay a little while, stay a little near. Your breath on my cheek like a borrowed fear. Dance me slow, paper moon lace. Hold my hand in a stranger place. Hold my hand, sweet and still we could disappear. Dance me slow and leave me here.
Hey, you guys, I know that I'm way early, but I didn't want to schedule like a separate stream and then go through that whole rigmarole. So I ended up just, hold on, what is going on? Why is it like this on WFAA? There's no sound. I wonder if they know that. All right, well, we'll watch it over here. All right, so the jury has reached a verdict in the Karmelo Anthony case, okay? And I figured let's just watch it together. I'm going to say this before we even get into any of that, okay? I don't feel like I can, and this is part of the reason why I wanted to go live. After further consideration, I don't feel like I can actually cover this trial with integrity. And I'm going to tell you why. I think that it's important to, if you're going to talk about a case and whether it was fair, whether the evidence that was presented, whether the prosecution proved their case, etc., you should know what that evidence is. And I don't. I know what's been reported, okay? But there's even I know, I get why the judge said no cameras. Okay. First of all, this case, a lot of that happened when Karmelo was a minor. The victim was a minor. They were both 17. And the people that witnessed what actually happened are all minors. So none of their testimony would have been broadcast in the first place. Right. And I just don't feel like it's right. I don't feel like I would be doing the right thing if I commented on the trial, given that, hey, Allie, I text you. I don't feel like I would be doing the right thing by giving commentary on a trial where there's even arguments over what the evidence that was presented and what it showed. The truth of the matter is there is what happened was there were cameras, okay? but the video footage is like incredibly grainy. It got enhanced, and even when it got enhanced, it's still really difficult to understand what happened and see it. And so how can how can I comment? I don't feel right doing it. I don't feel like I could do it ethically and responsibly by my own set of ethics and the responsibility I feel talking about something like this. And what's sad about all of this, okay, is no matter what the jury ultimately, no matter what verdict they render, regardless of whether they find Karmelo Anthony guilty as charged, they find it second degree or manslaughter because they are allowed to consider lesser charges, or whether they find for that it was self defense and therefore find that he is not guilty. Okay, um, there are no winners here. Okay, at the end of the day, Karmelo, even if Karmelo is found that he was that he if the jury finds that it was self defense, he still took another person's life, and he has to live with that. And that's a weight that I wouldn't want to live with. Um, if he's found guilty of any of of the original charge or the lesser charges, okay, he's going to face time in prison. His life will be changed forever. And the ultimate victim, which is Austin Metcalf, he lost his life. He was 17 years old. He's a kid. They're both kids. There's not going to be a winner here. There's just not. This is a tragedy. It makes me sad. It makes me sad that this is happening, that this happened at schools, that my kids, not Frisco Memorial, that was not a school when my kids were in Frisco, but my older three kids all went to Frisco schools. They went to Frisco Senior High, Frisco High School, not Senior High. That's Plano. I went to Plano Senior High for a hot minute. That's this Frisco was a community that I lived in for a very long time. I'm familiar with the area. The courthouse is in McKinney, which isn't even all that far from, where Frisco is. Okay, but it's sad, and it's sad that the trial is so divisive, and that there's so much anger on all sides. It's just sad. The whole thing is sad. So we're gonna watch court TV. We're gonna see what's going on. Listen, I don't know if I will. I know my regulars, if we that always come in here, we're not going to have an issue. There's not going to be any racist comments. I don't want to see it. I don't want people attacked for having an opinion. Just normal chat rules that I always have. Be cool. Don't be uncool. All right. You can debate the opinion, but don't attack the person. That's ridiculous. We don't need to do that. I think there's plenty of that going on, and we don't need to do it.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Imagine, I see how this stuff comes about, right? You're sitting there in
I
whatever
just,
community you are. In this case, it's in Texas, right? And
I
you
will
see a
say
case,
this.
you hear a fact pattern, you come to a judgment.
I'll say this. There's been a lot of talk, a lot of speculation, mainly in chats, okay, on the tubes, as to, what will happen. Will there be rioting? All of that. I'll say this, okay? I grew up in Texas. I moved to Texas when I was 10 years old, okay? I have never experienced protests that escalate into violence and riots and looting and the destruction of property and all that in Texas. I've never seen that. I do remember when I was in high school, and um, Why can't I think of the case right now? Rodney King, when the Rodney King verdict came out, and I was upset. I thought it was wrong. I thought it sent a fucked up message. You could tell that man was beaten unmercifully. He was not resisting. Um, it was brutal. And I remember what we did at the high school I went to is we all talked about it. We knew the jury was deliberating, and we decided that we would just walk out, which is what we did. We didn't, but I've never seen anything like that. I mean, I've never experienced anything like what we watched happen other places after that verdict or other protests. So, it is, I've never seen it. I know Texas doesn't fuck around. I know Texas doesn't play. I know this Judge Roach, there's been a lot of talk about the way that he conducts and has conducted in the past and is conducting now the proceedings. He's not playing around. He does not play. And I'll tell you, Texas doesn't play at all, period, ever. So I think it's disgusting to have hatred, period. But particularly for anger or hatred toward the victim, Justified says, I think it's pretty disgusting to have any kind of anger or hatred towards the victim or his family. They didn't ask for any of this. I agree. Oh, thank you. Thank you, C. Taylor says, thanks for covering the verdict. I'm usually in the bushes, but watched a lot of your coverage of S and your advocacy for Sweet Gannon. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Thanks for being here. I don't know. It scares me for our community, for Frisco. I mean, Minnie Bindi was raised in Frisco. She lived there until junior high. It's just sad for me. Give me just a second. I'm going to let you guys listen to this. I got to let's go live about it. And then I didn't I didn't do anything like use the potty. So I'll be right back.
Your ass yesterday. You're a child. Shut the fuck up. I just want to make sure he don't think he can fucking walk no Don't say the what? I wanted to play our guy. You're not racist. I said if none of y'all wild walk right now, like they fight for help. You did that. Your people do it anyway. I'll fight him. What is that? I'm a monster. I'm working in front of this out. Why you leaving? You been taking this out the same way we over there talking shit about everybody. Who's scared, bitch? I'm not scared of nobody. I don't. Black lady that walked up on me. All of you that are complicit in a system, you too. I see you. Yes, you. I didn't know you had a big. All of you are complicit in a fucked up system. And it's still peace, love, unity, and respect. Peace, love, unity, and respect. Peace, love, unity, and respect.
I think this is just really sad all the way around. And it really is like heartbreaking to see so much hate and so much anger from human beings just in general. Um, like because I think the conversation we should be having is how do we how can we prevent this from happening again? How can we talk to our how what should we be teaching our children when, you know, how just how to handle situations like this, right? What should we be what should we be saying? What are the conversations we should be having with our kids so that this we can prevent this from happening again? And I want to say, just for the record, I don't think what happened in that tent had anything to do with race. Okay. And I say that as a person who has been on the receiving end of racism. You guys know that I'm Mexican. I've been asked to my face if I was born in this country. I've been, you know, I've, you know, my dad, my grandparents. Yes, for the record, I was born in this country. So was my dad. So was all of his family. But you know, there was a time when this country, when we had segregation, and you know, Mexican people were included in that as well. So, you know, it's just sad for me to see that. Um, I think what happened inside of that tent is two teenage boys, and there was an escalation. And I don't think Carmelo or Austin were actually, I don't even think race was a factor in their minds at all. I think it's become that after the fact, but I think the actual incident, which is, you know, spawned all of this, right? I don't think it was about race. I think it definitely is it has become about it now, but I don't think that's how it started out. And I also want to point out that I do think that there are people in this world who actually don't give a rat's fat kneecap about this verdict, about this case, about the people involved on either side, one way or the other. They are simply there to cause trouble, to agitate, to take advantage of the situation, exploit the situation. And I think that there are people, I think those people are not really on either side, although they might appear to be on one or the other, if that makes sense. I think there are people I think there are just the shitty human beings on the planet who will use and take advantage of any and every situation.
Different places, because I gave up on trying to get everybody to agree on where they want lunch from. So this is
hey,
just
Michael, I got to
stunning.
cut you off real quickly here. We're getting notes from our Cody Thomas, who is now in the courtroom. He says that Carmelo's parents have walked in, and the Metcalfs have also just walked into the courtroom, and it appears as the twin brother Hunter is now with them. Hunter Metcalf, of course, was in the tent during this melee and did not testify for the state of Texas. Now, maybe he was being held as a potential rebuttal witness if indeed Karmelo Anthony testified, but we know that, of course, Karmelo Anthony declined the opportunity to take the stand in his own defense. But bottom line, just trying to set the scene for our viewers here. Cody Thomas is in place. As soon as
By the way, just a lot of people are making something about him, Carmelo Anthony not testifying. Okay, first of all, yeah, the fact of the matter is no defendant ever has to testify. It is not the defense's. They don't have the burden of proof. It's the state that has the burden of proof. Now, That being said, typically in a self-defense, when the defense is self-defense, you typically expect the defendant to take the stand. However, I think that his attorneys did the right thing. You don't want to put, I think Karmelo is 19 now, a 19-year-old up against a seasoned prosecuting attorney on cross-examination. I think that would be abhorrent. I think that would be a huge mistake. I think it would go horribly, it wouldn't be abhorrent. It would be wrong. I think it would go horribly, horribly wrong. I don't think it would be a good idea. So let's listen.
Your brother. There's no way there was a
I
strategy.
disagree because he's done some interviews. I do think it might have been strategic in that, he was there and his presence in there may have complicated the clean case the state maybe thought they were presenting. Because just judging from the interviews that he has done, it's clear that he was more than willing to talk about his brother and the loss that can you imagine losing your twin? Oh. But maybe the overwhelming reality of hearing about your brother's loss and you factor in the medical exam. Who knows? Bottom line is he didn't testify. Neither did Karmelo Anthony. Adding another bit of mystery because the jury didn't hear from either one of these players. There were three of them, right? There was Austin, who passed away, Hunter, and Karmelo. Those are the three that know.
And also, I think while I understand why the judge did what he did ultimately, why he kept cameras out of the courtroom, wanted to protect the jury because of the noise surrounding this case. I get it, but there's like it's a catch-22 with doing it that way. Because, personally, I think that WFAA, I have watched them for years. I've known them to have integrity and ethics and responsibility when covering trials. Rebecca Lopez is there now. And I would feel comfortable. Hold on.
I thought, but they had a lot of evidence. On the prosecution side. So I'll look forward to hearing what the verdict is.
What about what we're watching outside, Sonny? It has calmed down in the last few minutes. People seem to.
Anyway, I forgot what I was even saying. So what's the point of even continuing? I shouldn't have unmuted. I've totally forgot what I was saying. Shit, I got completely sidetracked. Oh, while I would rely and feel comfortable relying on Rebecca Lopez's, and I think there's some really good ethical reporters, other good ethical reporters, I would feel comfortable relying on their assessment of the evidence and what was presented. The problem is going to be because there was to protect the integrity, I feel, of the trial, the judge decided no cameras in the courtroom, which then is seen as somewhat of a lack of transparency. Then there's going to spark continued questions, debates, arguments, and the like, which I think is really, really problematic. And I feel like that's unfortunate, really. All right, here we go. But that's another reason why I don't feel like I can responsibly report on this case or give you guys my opinion, because this is a case where Karmelo Anthony is claiming self-defense, and there's some real like that the requirements legally for him to for it to be self-defense are very, very specific, and there's some details that are really important. And the first thing that would be really important in even beginning to try and see if there's if it was self-defense is that video. And how can I really comment on something I myself haven't seen? It does. This is the catch-22. Not allowing the cameras was the wrong way to go, in my opinion, says Harlotte Oscara. Keeping them out just makes it look like they're doing shady shit in there. I agree. But how do you balance, and this is what the judge had to figure out, how do you balance transparency and the right of the public to be able to view the trial? And I want to be clear about this. There's nothing in our Constitution about our right to view a trial publicly from the comfort of our home. That whole view, watching a trial and trials being open to the public, is for the public to haul their cookies on down to the courthouse and sit in the courtroom. But at the same time, there aren't very many extra seats for the public or the press, even, because they have to share the same amount of seats, the public and the press. So, excuse me, hold on. So how as a judge do you balance that with the defendant's right to a fair trial by a jury? Okay, he opted for a jury trial. A jury was sat, albeit the makeup was the makeup. It is what it is. And if there are outbursts, if there are reactions inside the courtroom while testimony is going on, it's distracting for the jury. I don't know how you would do that. I'm glad it wasn't. I don't know what I would do if I were a judge. All right, I'll be right back. Y'all behave. Are there mods in here just in case?
Welcome back to our continuing coverage of a verdict is in the case against Karmelo Anthony in McKinney, Texas. Collin County is the scene. This is the outside of the Collin County courthouse. Inside the courtroom, the parties have gathered, and our Cody Thomas is in place. We're just awaiting the judge to take the bench. He says that Karmelo Anthony is there. This is the first appearance of Hunter Metcalf. This is the twin brother. He was not called as a witness, but he is now in the courtroom. He hasn't been in the courtroom for any of the trial. This is his first appearance inside that courtroom, and Cody continues to pass along messages saying the courtroom is filling up steadily. Of course, security is very high. Both sets of parents are in the courtroom, Karmelo Anthony's parents, and of course the Metcalfs as well in the courtroom, along with their son, the surviving twin, Hunter Metcalf. Outside the courthouse, of course, it's been chaotic over the course of the trial on some level, but we're seeing it bubble up now as news spreads that there is a verdict in this case. Karmelo Anthony admits that he stabbed Austin Metcalf at a track meet last year after the two got into a verbal confrontation underneath a high school tent during a rain event. Both sides have different opinions on what transpired next. The defense here is that Karmelo warned the Metcalf brothers, specifically Austin, that he had something in his bag and he better not touch him or else. When Austin Metcalf then pushed Karmelo Anthony, he did reach in, grabbed a 4-inch pocket knife, and stabbed the young 17-year-old to death. Along with us, Michael Jafer and Sonny Slaughter. We've all watched this trial play out through the eyes of Cody Thomas. And again, if I cut you off, it's because we're getting some transmissions from Cody. But Sonny, to you first here as we await this verdict. There are 3 basic scenarios. You've got guilty of murder, the top charge, which carries with it a potential life sentence. Next is manslaughter, put on the table today through the defense. The judge granted that. And then, of course, the third option, not guilty. How important is it for that jury and for the defense to have manslaughter on the verdict form?
I think it's really important because I do not feel like Karmelo Anthony had the initial intent or the intent to murder. I think it was reactionary. I think all of them should have calmed down. They didn't. And I just think, I don't think it was an intentional homicide, but I don't see this as a not guilty verdict at all because someone is dead, Austin is deceased, and that is a criminal act. So manslaughter is the best that they can hope for, and with a lower sentencing, but I do not see Karmelo walking out of court today as a free young man.
Michael, do you agree that's a long shot?
I disagree with Sonny on this one. I think that there's a good chance he's going to be acquitted because here's why. There was only one testimony that I've seen is that he stabbed him one time. He didn't stab him multiple times. I do agree that he shouldn't have done it, and I do agree that it was maybe disproportionate. But there's a good chance that this jury is going to come back not guilty because they came back so. If this deliberation was 3 days, 4 days, I think I would tend to agree that probably they'll come back with manslaughter. But coming back in 3 hours, man, I can't imagine them coming back in 3 hours and finding him guilty. I feel like they're going to come back and find him not guilty. It's just I question the 3 hours. I just question that. So I think there's a good chance of that. But look, could it be that they came back in 3 hours with manslaughter and manslaughter was
got to
the
cut
gift
you
that
off.
they needed?
They are back on the record, according to our Cody Thomas inside the courtroom. The jury is heading into the courtroom. Karmelo is looking very serious but expressionless. Defense attorney has his arm around him. The tension is clearly high in here, not verbal, but you can feel it. That is our Cody Thomas sending notes to us because, again, if you're just joining us, there are no cameras
By the way, I watched Cody Thomas, and he's been doing a really good job
across the country, and specifically for those living in the Collin County, Texas area. So we'll wait with bated breath until Cody types again. But the scene has been set. The jury has been called for. We do know what comes next. Guilty of murder. This is Cody Thomas. The verdict is guilty. Guilty of murder, the top charge against Karmelo Anthony.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Wow.
yeah, wow. Indeed. We'll watch
Wow.
the crowd outside. They will start to get this information momentarily. And
All right, so Karmelo was found guilty of murder, the top charge, the most serious charge.
there's a live look outside the courthouse as people have gathered. Again, if you're just joining us, Karmelo Anthony has been found guilty of murder, the top charge in this case after just 3 hours of deliberation.
Now, the question is, should we stay should we stay with Court TV, or should we find another a feed that's live that's only going to focus on the crowd? I kind of want to hear something.
Still
Hold on.
guilty, but manslaughter, different sentencing, but guilty of murder. So, that's heavy.
Wow.
And I hope everyone just, it does not seem like everyone's going to be calm. It seems like we're going to have a problem there. Wow.
This is dumb.
You can see the.
This is dumb.
Yeah.
What is dumb, Michael?
Yeah, yeah, I'm sorry, Ted. This is just dumb. This is stupid. I can't believe that this jury came back in 3 hours with guilty. I'm totally stunned. On top of that, this judge as well, not letting cameras in the courtroom. I mean, good job. Good job, Your Honor. Really, really, really good job. You handled it really, really well. You have this community that's about to get lit on fire. You don't allow cameras to go into a courtroom. The community already believes that this kid is being railroaded. And then look at what happened. Your jury came back within 3 hours for a guilty verdict for a kid who used a 4-inch knife one time, didn't use it multiple times. Was it wrong? Yes. But was it murder, like beyond a reasonable doubt? No. And was it murder beyond a reasonable doubt within 3 hours? Absolutely not. This is insane. This is dumb.
Cody Thomas saying that there are tears on Karmelo's side of the courtroom, and they're going into the penalty phase immediately. So this
That's what I wanted to hear.
is leaving the courtroom. They're going to now go into the penalty phase. There's a huge.
This is what I wanted to know, is if they were going to be going into the penalty phase. Do you guys, I'm going to leave it up to you. There are plenty of people that are streaming this live from that parking lot in front of the courthouse in McKinney. Do you guys want me to stream one of them? I will if you ask me to. I don't think he intended. I don't think this is first degree premeditated. I just don't think this is. I would have. I do think a human being lost their life, and there has to be punishment for that. But I don't think this was right. Okay. You guys want to see something else? Okay. Let's see. Huh. All right. I'm gonna put it on JLR.
You out here with a baby! Shut your ass up! Get that baby! You out here with a baby! Out of here! You are out here with a baby!
All right. That's what it's looking like. I got to say, don't be out here with babies. Like, what in the absolute hell is anybody thinking? This is, I mean, you think these cops want to be out here? Hell no, they don't. And you out here willingly, and you're bringing a baby. What in the absolute? I can't. All right, here we go. Listen, this is live. JLR is streaming this. I have no control over what is said, what is recorded. It's not my stream, but I know that you guys want to see what's happening. You want to see the reaction, and I know JLR won't strike. So here we go.
Look at what you got your kids into!
We're getting testy out here, folks. Little skirmishes.
Let me see if I can find a better stream for you guys. Let's see.
Not in a woman's face. You got in a woman's face. You got in a woman's face, brother. Where's your morality? He ain't got none. Are you a man? Man. No. Why do you get in a woman's face? Because he a bitch. Why do you get in a woman's face? Hey, why do you get in a woman's face? A woman. A woman. And then you try to misgender her and disrespect. I don't know your name. I don't know the first thing about you. Where's I don't know.
Uh-oh. Something's popping off.
But at the same time,
Thank you, everyone. Some of the people that have been attending have been coming out. Afraid that everything moves like follow me.
I got a couple of videos and pictures of you also.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
So, I mean, let me know what y'all think.
This is going to add all the way around.
You cannot do shit. Got Queen 88's face.
If you think he's
No, as a matter of fact, no.
he's not smart, why waste your time? You know?
What was your words? What was your words? What was your words?
Why waste your time if you think he's not smart? You know? Y'all be peaceful. You said peace loud.
Absolutely, absolutely. Check in one more time. Thank you, thank you. I apologize for just walking away. Emotions are high right now.
I get it. I get it. Use your time wisely. That's what I think.
Oh, they got the deal.
Right now.
Okay. Also, just so you guys know, now they go to the penalty phase, and if I'm not mistaken, that's the jury again. The jury, I believe. Let me Google and find out.
We are the heart, baby. Talk. I can't wait to talk. Talk. I can't wait to talk. It's gonna be bucks summer. Who are you? They put my baby Austin in the ground too. I said I love them white babies too. I'm thinking about it. I just don't walk around your house. I don't need nobody. I'm gonna keep on talking. Say, y'all see this? What do you want us to do at this point? What? I'm lost for it. I don't know what to do. I got 5 boys. I don't know what. I ain't got nothing to tell them no more. You can't walk away no more.
Rest in peace, Trayvon Martin. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of examples of that.
The frustration. Are you more
This
angry
baby
or
girl got
sad?
her justice. I'm angry and I'm hurt. I'm angry because I'm killing people. You were in there. I was in there too. Those witnesses were lying. They don't want to hear. You got the judge. I'm in the back. We dog in. I'm in the back. Everybody gonna get some attention to that game. Bring the camera. All around.
You are not media designated spots.
Media. Injustice happened here today. Injustice happened here today.
Y'all can talk to him right here in the grass.
Injustice happened here today. Injustice happened here today.
Y'all go in there.
Let me get in here. I'm gonna push through. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. Don't rush it.
He gon' say something.
I will say this one time. One time only. I speak on behalf of myself, Minister Dominic Alexander. I speak on behalf of myself as president of the Next Generation Action Network. The Next Generation Action Network wanted to respect this process, to be able to make sure that nobody said that the Next Generation Action Network obstructed this process, interfered in this process. But what this process did is showing that black lives do not matter in college.
Show the fuck down.
It's a rigged
It
system.
showed us that time and time in American history, it has shown us to remove emotions from yet the law. This trial showed that it put emotions over the law. After Trayvon Martin and so many countless names, it has shown us that black life is not safe in Collin County.
Show ain't.
It showed us that they did not listen to the law. It showed clearly that a judge interfered in this process.
That's right.
It showed very clearly that a black boy was allowed not one black soul on a jury. An all white jury convicted him in 2 to 3 hours. We know that they did not prove their case.
Right.
They are currently sentencing Karmelo Anthony, but we know that the Next Generation Action Network put the first $10,000 towards an appellate attorney. And we will fight Collin County like hell. I respected this process. I allowed and called for peace in this process.
But that's how we always get that anyway.
But black America should be very upset about what went on today. Now, before all of the internet lawyers and before all of the interpretation of the situation, I'm only an advocacy leader. I'm not an attorney. I can only help families be able to navigate these processes when they find themselves in this type of situation. I can only allow lawyers to be what they are, lawyers. I can't instruct them. I can't stop them from doing anything. I have to respect the process just like anybody else. But what we saw today was flawed, unjust, and I ask that the community continue to pray for the Anthony family. I do not speak for them, but I know that the Next Generation Action Network will be here as support. My heart hurts right now because in the ignorance of the law was done here today. Clear, we posted the jury instructions, and right now what we are seeing is a travesty. It lets us know that black lives do not matter in the criminal justice system. It lets us know that we are not going to be afforded the same laws as anybody else. And I give a damn about nobody that feels like I'm playing the race card here. For 400 years, our people have been at the liberty and have had to suffer at the liberty of these laws. I'm speaking facts because that blood of slavery is in my blood, not your blood. And it's not for you to look at.
Okay, hold on just a second. I'm listening to like 5 different streams at the same time so I can bring you guys the best stream. Okay, so Stevie said, don't both pick the jury. Okay, in a high profile case like this, it's less about picking and more about excluding jurors that you absolutely don't want on the, that you don't want seated. Okay, so In this case, there were 600 summons sent out, and they had to whittle that 600 down to 18. Okay. And in this case, the 18 that were left were just the eight. They weren't picked necessarily. They were what was left after the state used all of their strikes, the defense used all of their strikes, and the court actually had strikes as well. And so I wouldn't say, but yes, both sides are both sides have an equal opportunity to either try and keep somebody or release a potential juror. So, and this is something that Cody did report. Yes, Melissa says, good to see you, by the way. According to Cody, many of the jury pool would not convict. They openly told the lawyers that. Exactly. What can you, and when that happens, they can't be on a jury. That's not how the process works. That's just not how it goes. He hasn't been sentenced yet. Nature Rocks, good to see you, by the way. I just wanted to let everybody know that the court is on a short break, but the sentencing phase, penalty phase begins now, or, when they come back. So, yeah. Let me see if I can, hold on a second. Since his is buffering, let me do this. Oh, I don't want it like this. Hold on a second. There we go. Let me fix it for you.
I think it was not intentional, and yet here we are. I did not think they're going to come back with a not guilty verdict. I did not believe that. I didn't think that would fit.
Right.
But
I
don't
cut
think
you off, Sonny. Cody saying that the cross-examination of Karmelo's mother and the direct was very short. Basically, they just wanted her to get up there and say, please have mercy on my son, after saying that she loved him. The cross by the state was equally as short. The only question asked of Karmelo Anthony's mother, you'll always be a part of your son's life. You're a mother. You love him very much, correct? Meaning, no matter what, if he spends years in prison, you're going to visit him. That's the insinuation for this jury.
Yeah.
Cody now says both sides have rested in the punishment phase, so you had no arguments from either side and only one witness. Judge Bando, I would have had an army of people ready to go.
Are you kidding me? I would have had because if you're practicing in Texas, you know the drill. You have all the PE coaches.
Okay, I gotta agree with the lawyer down here in the pink blazer. I would have been bringing if it were my client, I would be bringing everybody. Look what they did for he who shall not be named that murdered Athena. They brought in kindergarten teachers, the bus driver who drove him to school in 3rd grade. They brought in everybody. All right. I just wanted you guys to hear what's going on in the courtroom now. Let me get you back over to what's going on outside of the courtroom.
We can agree with you, so you can give your life to Jesus Christ. Today is that day. Today is the day of salvation. Because of the morning of the
I think this is messed up as well, Amber, deliberating for sentencing already. I just feel like I think this I'm baffled by all of it, but once again, I feel like I can't give really good, accurate commentary or have I don't want to give you guys an opinion and not have the information. I feel like my opinion should be informed. And because there were no cameras, because that's what the judge decided. There, I mean, we can bitch all we want, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, right? We have to accept where it is and what it is. And I feel like I can't. I'm not sure that I will say this. Based on the limited information that I have, I do not think that the jury got this right in finding him guilty of murder. I think manslaughter would have been appropriate.
Those who continue in sin will be a partaker of hell. Your name will not be written in the book of life. You will stand before God on the day of judgment in great white judgment, and you will have to give an account for your life. Every sin you have committed, every transgression against God, you're going to have to answer for it.
Okay, this is something that I've seen be questioned and float around. I Googled it, and according to AI, just so you guys know, Google AI, okay, just Googling. I wrote, are Karmelo Anthony's attorneys public defenders? Yes, Karmelo Anthony's current lead defense attorney is a court-appointed attorney. After being declared indigent by the court, his defense was taken over by Dallas criminal defense attorney Mike Howard, who is representing him as a court-appointed attorney. So that is something that I've seen being floated around. There's the answer.
Every race, male and female, no one escapes the judgment of God. Today is that day. You can be free from sin. You can be free from bondage.
All right, JLR investigates. Out here, boots on the ground. Karmelo Anthony found guilty of murder, and out here looking at reaction.
Also, I just want to interrupt this really quickly to briefly say I'm down to stream until we find out what the sentencing is going to be. I just don't think that I have it in me to stream if anything pops off. I don't know who else. Mally, if you got a suggestion about somebody who's out there live streaming the reaction right now and who won't strike for streams, because this would be, me, he's live right now, then I'm all up for it. But this is the only one I know. And we ain't got to like him. We ain't got to be, giving him accolades or anything. He's not even giving any commentary. He's just holding the phone.
live outside the Collin County Courthouse.
If we're going to protest, let's protest this sin. If everything that causes us to go to hell for all eternity. Today is the day to give your life to the Lord Jesus Christ. He is the Lamb of God, slain before the foundation of the world was laid. Today is your opportunity. Tomorrow you may not get it. Life is passing away. Life is fleeting.
Here.
Everything you see is temporary. Your clothes are temporary. Your body is temporary. Your job is temporary. Your career is
riding out.
Your money is temporary. You won't get any of that with you on the day of judgment.
They said on the internet that they changed it to 5 to 99 years. She said she thinks she's seen. So if it's first degree murder, they might make it to where if it's 5 to 99 years, you might make it somewhere in between that. You know what I'm saying? So something's going on sentencing probably to where they already agreed on the amount of time. So we'll see.
All of filthy mess. Filthy and dirty.
You heading out?
Sin against the holy God. Yes, you're filthy just like I'm filthy. But thanks be to God.
I didn't know if they were going to
give
bring
us the
somebody else to
victory in
talk
Christ
to,
Jesus.
but most
It was the
likely they not.
blood of Jesus Christ that cleansed us from all our sins.
Okay, so yes, that assessment is correct as far as the range of what the potential sentencing could be. It could range anywhere from 5 to 99 years. So that is accurate. That's correct. I can, if you guys want to, switch back over to Court TV and hear the legal assessments, or do you guys want me to keep it where, because I mean, I'm listening to Court TV waiting for the sentencing to come back, just in, you know, backstage or whatever. So it's up to you guys. What do you guys want to watch?
Cleanse us and made us new. If you want to be new, we have the way for you to be new. His name is Jesus Christ. Today is that day. Today is that day. Don't live your life in vain. Don't do it.
So I'm told there's going to be a protest out here at 6 o'clock.
We are warning you.
Yeah. Protest at 6 p.m. out here. Call me. And then text me and just put your name in so I know.
For anybody wondering, it is currently 3:04 local Texas time. I am local to Texas. I was talking to my husband and I was like, babe, I really want to go. And he said, are you high? No, you are not going. First of all, ma'am, this is what he told me. First of all, you got a hurt back. You think that you think it's a good idea to be wandering around all over Hell's Half Acre with a hurt back? I said, no. And he said, secondly, you don't know what's going to pop off. You don't know how this is going to go. You can't defend yourself. You got a hurt back. Don't be dumb. That's why I'm here. Then I saw Benny Keys was going to be out there. I kind of wonder if Benny went. Let me go see if I can find out.
Nice meeting you, yeah.
Hang on, yo.
I need to get back here and get
You will do what I say. If you love me, if we must teach our children the way of the Lord, these commandments of God.
Jennifer, I think your Wi-Fi thing went off. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was great meeting you. We love you.
Yeah, Steve, I'll see you. Nice meeting you.
No Benny Keys out there.
Starlink doesn't work in this situation. So. You back on? Yeah. Okay. All right, we're back.
Literally looked right down and said, you know he's out there. I was like, nope, I didn't.
Yeah.
This was the opportunity for the jury
Hang on, I think
and the
this part
defense
is
to take advantage
interesting.
of
Hold on.
and let Karmelo Anthony speak for himself at this point. I really think they should.
So they're on court TV, they're talking about the sentencing phase and how quick it was and the lack of evidence presented really by either side, okay? And I just want you to hear, because I think this attorney has an excellent point. Hold on. All right, here we go.
This jury comes back with a very, very...
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And we were on that break. This would have been actually a perfect time for us to hear from Karmelo. They should have put Karmelo up on the stand and let us see who he is. Let the jury read his demeanor, see him in his genuine form about how he, because at this point he's been convicted. So this was the opportunity for the jury and the defense to take advantage of and let Karmelo Anthony speak for himself at this point. I really think they should have at least put Karmelo up, if not just to, because his mother alone, we already know what his mother's going to say, that she loves him, he's a good kid. At this point, we should hear from Karmelo to see how he feels, if he's remorseful. That's going to make a difference when this jury decides how many years to sentence him to. Let us hear from him. I'm just so incredibly disappointed with the defense strategy of only putting up his mother and not hearing from anyone else, no other character.
I agree. I don't understand this thinking. I don't understand this trial strategy. It makes zero sense to me.
To witnesses, I just think was a disservice to Karmelo.
Yeah, and you know, they had the opportunity to put him on in the guilt phase. That's one decision. That's a different decision because of the cross-examination.
Yeah,
here in the penalty phase, it is a much easier route. You know, you're going, but someone had to bring this kid to life more so than just through opening statements through your attorney. And you know, a few witnesses that talked about his education during the case in chief. But this is it. This is sentencing time. These individuals are easily swayed. You know, they're people in the public, and they all could be touched.
Hold on.
But you gotta go and touch.
Hold on. I don't appreciate the condescension there, sir. These people are easily swayed. They're members of the public. Bro, I am a member of the public. And I believe all 35 people that are in this chat currently will tell you and testify on my behalf to say that I am never, ever, 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 ever easily swayed. I don't appreciate that, sir, at all. Hold on a minute. We need a little palate cleanser. Let's hear from our man on the street, Mac the cat. I know, Mac. Can you believe this bullshit? Mac is just as stunned and just as incredulous as your hostess here. Ridiculous. All right, I'm switching back over here. Let's hear what's going on out with the public.
Life is short. It's full of trouble. Don't live a life of chaos while you're on earth. Then when you die, you live your life in hell, but you leave earth. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. All these
Yo, JLR?
Yeah.
Just, oh, hold on.
Hey, Jake.
Hi, Jake. How are you?
You know my friend Magnolia by chance?
No.
No?
No.
You weren't accused of like beating her and potentially strangling
Oh,
her?
shit.
So, who are you?
That's not true?
Huh?
That's not true.
So, who are you?
I'm Jake.
Jake.
Yeah.
Where are you from, Jake?
Jake from
Where am I
State
from?
Farm.
Yeah.
America, buddy.
America.
Yeah, but let's stay on topic.
So, what's going on?
So I'm just asking a question.
So, where?
Hold on. We're going to rewind that because Jake from State Farm has entered the chat and he has questions for JLR. So let me rewind this. Un momentito, por favor. All right, here we go.
Beating her and potentially. Yo, JLR?
Yeah.
Huge fan, bro. Huge fan. Jake.
Hi, Jake. How are you?
You know my friend Magnolia by chance?
No.
No?
No.
You weren't accused of like beating her and potentially strangling her?
So, who
You
are
weren't,
you?
that's not true?
Huh?
That's not true.
So, who are you?
I'm Jake.
Jake.
Yeah.
Where are you from, Jake?
Where am I from?
Yeah.
America, buddy.
America.
Yeah, but let's stay on topic.
So, what's going on?
So I'm just asking a question.
So, where are you from?
I'm from here.
From here?
I'm just asking a question.
So, what's your last name?
Don't worry about that. I'm just asking
So,
a
why are
question.
you asking me questions?
Because I'm want to know the answer. Is that true?
Yeah,
or
I'm
is
not gonna
that,
tell
is
you.
it, well, I'm just asking. Is it fake news?
Huh?
Is that fake news?
What do you think?
I'm asking you.
What do you think?
I don't know what I think.
What do
I'm
you
just,
think, Jake?
well, I don't know the whole story. I'm asking you.
So, where are you from?
I'm from here. I'm just
What's your
asking,
last name?
I'm just asking you a question, dude. It's just like
Tell me about your life.
it's just
When,
like a
where
yes
were you
or no.
born?
No, I'm asking you if
Where
you
were you? I'm asking you.
I'm
Where were
asking
you
if you were
born?
accused of beating.
I'm asking you where you were
a
born.
potential strangler. I just saw a news report, so I'm just asking.
Okay.
I just happened to see because I saw your shirt over there, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I recognize that guy.
Okay.
So I just happened to like.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Love it.
Bucks, right?
Yeah, buddy. Texas.
So, tell me about yourself.
Yeah, no, I was just asking a question. So, like,
Tell me about your.
Did you beat and strangler, or is that
Tell me
fake?
about yourself.
No, I'm just asking. Can you like?
I'm not going to answer your questions.
So you can't tell me if it's fake or not?
Why would I answer your questions?
Because I'm just asking a question.
Okay, I don't want to talk about that.
All right. So why can't you just like say it's fake or not fake?
Are you deaf?
I'm just asking.
Are you deaf?
All I need is an answer.
Are you deaf?
No, obviously I'm not.
Tell
deaf.
me about yourself, Jake.
Don't worry about it. I'm
Tell
just
me.
asking a
Well, I'm
question.
going to find out who you are.
You can.
I will.
Go ahead.
I will.
That's okay.
I will.
Hi.
I
What's
will,
up, guys?
Jake.
Why
I
are you
will, Jake.
shaking? Why are you shaking?
Huh? Oh, so what? You got to come up and say I'm shaking, but then I'm going.
Yo,
what?
you're just shaking. I don't know.
Right?
All I did was ask a question.
Huh?
All I did was ask a question.
But you keep asking questions.
Because you won't answer it.
I just said I don't want to talk about it. That's your answer.
That's my answer?
That's your answer.
It's
Jake.
really like a non-answer.
That's your answer. Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about your personal life.
Well, why
I
don't we-
can't wait
why
to
don't-
share
why
your
don't-
personal
That's
life
fine.
on the internet,
I'm-
Jake.
I'm-
I can't wait to
I'm not
share
sharing
your personal life.
It's just public reports that
Okay,
I
I
saw.
can't wait to share your personal
You
life.
can if you want.
I am.
That's fine.
I am.
All
Thanks
I'm-
for the permission, Jake.
Sure.
Thank you.
I really, it's the
Thank you
internet.
for the permission, Jake.
I'm just saying.
We
Lower,
have
just-
12,000 people watching, Jake.
That's fine. Just
All right,
lower.
so
lower
where are you from?
Listen, hold on. Let's take a breath for a second. Lower your cortisol levels for a second.
Okay.
Let's just
you're
take a
up,
breath.
You're up to me.
No, all I did was come up and ask a
Okay,
question.
and I told you I don't want to talk about that.
Okay. So,
Okay?
okay. Here's the answer.
Jake,
Here's the
Jake,
answer. Fake
Jake.
or not fake?
Jake, I don't want to talk about that.
Okay, because you're live.
Huh?
Do you want to stop live so that you can just tell
So
me?
talk about your personal life.
I don't
How many
need to talk-
girlfriends have you had? Have
What
you ever
does
been
that
accused
matter?
of beating a girl?
Huh?
Have you ever been accused of
I've
beating
never
a
laid
girl?
my hands on a female.
You never laid your hands on a female?
Absolutely not.
Well, all the females say that?
Fine. I'm just asking a question.
I know, Jake. I know. I mean, you're asking, you're sounding like a broken record, Jake.
I'm just asking a
You're
question.
sounding like a broken record.
Okay.
So, Jake, I'm going to find out
you're
who
shaking
you are.
and you sound like someone who can't
I'm not
answer questions.
shaking. I'm not shaking.
All right. Well,
All right, Jake.
all I
Take
said
it
was,
easy, Jake.
for the
Jake,
record,
Jake,
all I
take
said
it
was
easy,
I
Jake.
saw a public report. I just recognized them. I can't.
Take it,
Yeah, on
take it
purpose.
easy,
Ask
Jake.
a question
Have a
about
good day, Jake. Have a good day, Jake.
You know, I got tattoos.
Okay, yeah, you got tattoos. Yeah,
There we
yeah.
go.
So, what's your last name?
Don't worry about it.
How many girlfriends have you had in your
Yeah,
life?
how is that relevant?
Have you? Why is it not relevant?
How is
I'm
that
just
relevant?
asking you questions.
At least I didn't
Tell
beat
me
my
about your mom and
girlfriend,
dad. Oh, so you think I did something?
That's why I'm asking.
But you just said it as a statement of fact.
No, I said it as a
So
question.
tell me about your mom and dad. You got a mom?
Duh, of course I have. Do you have a mom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What's your
That's
mom's
cool.
name?
What's your mom's name?
Donna.
Oh, okay.
What's your mom's name?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, so don't worry. Huh? You ask me stuff about my personal life, but I can't ask you about your.
Are you
My
in-
mother's name is Donna. My
are you
father's
in-
name is Tim. What's
Are
your
you in?
dad's
Are
name?
you in .5? Or are you?
What's your
oh,
dad's name?
It'd be
Jake?
funny if it was in .5.
Jake, you're asking me stuff about my personal
You're
life.
shaking, dude. All I asked was a question.
I'm not shaking. He's not shaking. No, you're just making
Look,
things
come
up,
here,
Jake.
look.
You're just making things up, Jake. I'm
All right.
holding my camera.
Well, look, all I did was ask a question.
Right.
That's what it is.
Well, I'm
right?
asking you questions.
Yeah, I don't
So I'm
need
gonna
to
walk
answer
you to your car and ask you questions.
Well,
all right, we're gonna play.
I don't have a
questions.
I actually just walked here. to be
You just
honest.
walked?
Yeah.
You're lying.
No, I'm serious. I walked here.
Yeah, you're lying.
No, I'm serious.
So tell me about your mom and dad. Tell me about your personal life. Well, how many girlfriends you had in your life?
It doesn't. How is that relevant?
How many girlfriends you have?
Sorry,
in your life?
cable guy.
How's my life relevant to you?
Well, I'm just asking a question.
How's my life relevant to you?
Well, you're a public guy.
So tell me, well, are you a public guy?
No.
You're not.
I'm just here because I thought this
You're
was
just a
interesting.
private citizen, right? Jake?
Kind of, yeah. Well, I guess
Jake,
I'm
you're
about
just
not
a
to be,
private
but
citizen,
whatever.
right?
Well,
So tell me, how many girlfriends have you had in your life? Have you ever been accused of hitting a girl?
No, have you?
Have you ever been accused of touching kids?
Absolutely
I'll
not.
personally give you my opinion. You look like you touch kids.
I
Yes,
look
you
like
do. You
Dude,
look like
you're
you touch-
shaking.
you
You're
look like
literally
you
shaking.
You look like you touch kids.
Okay,
You look,
whatever.
look, you do. You look
All
like
right.
you touch kids.
I definitely
You
do
look
not
like
touch
you
kids.
touch kids.
You look like you.
I know.
Sorry.
He's
shake
not
up.
shaking. He's been on the
Look,
sun all
look.
day trying to record.
Okay,
I know,
see,
Jake.
that-
You
there's
look like
the
you
answer.
touch kids.
There's the answer.
You
Well,
look like
actually,
you
we're all
touch
here.
kids,
We're all here
Jake.
on
We're
the
gonna
same-
find out.
Okay.
We're gonna find out who you
He
are.
was guilty before the jury came out.
What was that?
Jake, how many
Hold on,
kids have
hold
you
on.
touched, Jake?
Hold on. Here.
So tell me about your personal life, Jake. Tell me about your personal life,
Did you
Jake.
say anybody in this case was
Fuck you.
innocent or guilty?
I've had no public opinion on this case. I've never.
Then why are you here?
Because like I said before, I thought it was interesting. I will, but I'm just saying, I thought it was
bye.
interesting. All right, well, I was answering your question. All right, you have a great day.
So what's your mom's name?
You're welcome.
Yeah, what's your mom's name? What's your mom's name?
My mom's name?
Yeah.
It's Mom.
Your mom's name's Mom, huh?
Yeah, what's your mom's name?
Huh?
What's your mom's
Donna.
name? Donna.
What's your mom's name?
What about it?
What about your mom?
What is it relevant?
What about your mom? What's your mom do for a living?
I was just asking a question about.
What do you do for a living?
Well, I was just
What do
asking
you
a
do
question
for a
about
living?
public.
What do you
the
do for a
public
living?
reports.
Huh? What do
I
you
was
do
just
for a
asking a
living?
question about public.
So why are you
reports.
saying I'm shaking?
Because you were. Look at you are right now.
I'm
Look,
shaking
look.
But I'm walking with you. I'm walking with you.
You like.
I know. We got 14,000 people watching.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Jake, how you doing? So, Jake who?
Is this your crew? Is he part of your crew?
No.
No. You're not part of the crew.
Tell me about
So why is everyone shaking? I don't understand.
Tell me about you, Jake.
What about?
Everybody wants to know about you.
I can't hear the speaker.
All right, let's move. Come on. Come on.
I was just asking.
Got crooked teeth.
I do have crooked teeth. That's right. So do you.
So tell me about your mom. Tell me about all your girlfriends. How many girlfriends have you had in your life?
I was just asking.
How many
a question.
girlfriends have you had in your
I was
life?
just asking. a
Hey,
question.
Jake, how many? Yeah, so you don't have girlfriends?
Huh? I'm not going to
even-
give you any personal information. if you couldn't
So why are
catch
you
on.
asking me about personal information
Well,
about
was
me?
it- well, how is it personal if it was a public report I saw?
I don't know anything.
It's on Fox.
I know,
Or
but
wherever it's on.
so I can't ask you nothing about personal about your
Well,
life,
you could. I don't have the answer. Right?
right?
Right.
So what's your last name?
You want that?
I'm gonna
I
find
don't
out.
know. You can.
I'm going to.
I have no doubt you probably
I'm
find
going.
it.
I will.
That's fine.
I will.
I really don't
find out
care.
your last name.
I'm not scared. Yeah.
Why y'all fighting?
Huh?
Why y'all fighting?
We're
Well,
not
I
really
think he
fighting.
touches
I came
kids.
over to him because I saw a public report that
There's
he abused,
reports out there that he's
strangled, and
possibly
his
into, like,
girlfriend at the
abusing
time.
girls.
And I recognized him. I came over and I just want to ask him a question. So then he starts
His name
doing
is
this
Jake.
and asking
He
me a
has
question.
multiple girlfriends that we don't know about.
He
So
is
I'm asking him
literally
what
having answered the same question.
name's
since
Jake.
coming out of his ass. All I did was
I know
ask him a
Jake.
question for the public.
I know
report.
Jake.
That was it.
Is
I
it
know what.
fight- That's the fighting one.
No. I was like, I was just.
I'll walk
curious
with you
about
when you leave, Jake.
things.
I'll stay on till you leave.
So that was it.
I'll walk with you when you leave, Jake.
That's fine.
Cool. I'll walk when you
I'm
leave,
not.
Jake.
I'm not trying.
I'll walk with you when you leave, Jake.
It's fine.
So tell me about all your girlfriends.
Don't worry about it.
Tell me about all your girlfriends. What, Jake?
He's fine.
Huh? Oh, no, he's good. He's between
Y'all
you
are
now.
good.
Thank you. God bless you.
Y'all been too. Like seriously.
I do appreciate you guys being out here and doing it.
Jake, tell me about all the girlfriends you had.
You
What was
believe
that?
it?
Tell me all about all your girlfriends you have. How many girlfriends you have? You're married?
What was that?
You married?
No,
Never been married. Why?
just not married yet.
How old are you?
Anyway,
How old are you, Jake?
yeah, I actually. funny
Jake,
enough,
how
I
old
saw
are you?
these, like a couple years ago. I got hit by a
15,000 people watching.
and it,
How
like,
old are you, Jake?
Changed my life radically. It was nuts.
Jake.
You got 15,000 people watching. Why don't you put it to rest about you and Magnolia and just tell people
Who are
what
you?
That's what
happened?
I'm saying.
Who are you?
Why don't ask
Have you ever heard of a gag order? Have you ever heard of a gag order?
Well, I just
All right,
asked.
so
I asked
okay, there's a gag order. I can't
She's
talk
asking
about
the question.
that. So now I'm going to ask you about.
I'm not.
Okay.
Well, I was.
So Jake,
Was.
I have to pause for commentary. Holy hell, y'all. Who knew this was going to happen? Who had this on their bingo card? I didn't have this on my bingo card. And for anybody wanting to know how we got here, let me just tell you what had happened, okay? I'm flipping back and forth between JLR, who's getting the reactions live as they happen out in front of the McKinney courthouse, where Karmelo Anthony was just found guilty of murder, We are waiting for the jury to finish deliberating on what will be his sentence. Their sentencing can range from 5 years to 99 years. Okay. And I was about to switch back to Court TV because they're going to have, now I'm all like messed up because of this. Anyway, the reporter from inside the courtroom is going to come and talk to Court TV and give us all the things about what happened inside of the courtroom. I was about to flip over, and then boom, shakalaka, here comes Jake, followed up by some other woman who has questions. So here we go. That's what's going on. I have it paused so we can hear from the courtroom, the guy in the courtroom, when this confrontation ends.
So Jake, I appreciate your question.
You're such an asshole.
Why?
Because I've seen I just saw how you were treating this guy, and I see how you're treating me.
All right, have a good day, ma'am. I don't want to engage with you. Thank you. But Jake, tell me about all the girls you were with, Jake.
That's the only answer I'm looking for.
Yeah, tell me about all the girls you were with, Jake.
All I asked was, what happened with Magnolia? Why would you tell us,
That's what I'm trying to find out.
Tell me about all the girls you were with, Jake.
That's what I'm trying to find out.
Are you out here about him or about?
Well, I am here about here, but like I said, I recognize.
But you came over and said, "I'm a big fan of yours," and then you said,
"I know you're a big fan of mine."
Was.
You was.
You said,
but you said it in current. You were a big fan.
Was, is, whatever. Misspoke.
Oh, so you just come up and say it, Jake,
Misspoke,
right? You're a big fan, but not anymore.
It's a great.
Right, Jake? Right, Jake? So, Jake, how many girls you been with, Jake? Jake don't want to engage in.
Yeah, I used to watch him all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Really? And then I started hearing this stuff about Magnolia, and I started hearing stuff about Magnolia.
God bless you.
So
I can't talk about that.
I'm not going to talk about it.
I'm talking to Jake now. Thank you.
And then I started, and you see how he's been treating me,
All I do is have
Jake the Snake. I know, he looks like Jake the Snake.
I don't know who you are.
What was it?
I said,
Somebody said he had a funny head.
I'm not even.
Somebody said he has a funny head.
Yeah, that was it. Like I said, all I do is recognize him. You too. Well, sorry, I'm just looking for an answer, but obviously, I'm not going to get an answer.
Take care, Jake.
Yeah, you too.
What's your last name? I don't want to shake your hand.
Fist bump?
No.
Fist bumps?
No.
You're like a trim thing?
Man, go on, leave him alone.
I am trying to. He's following me.
Go on, leave him alone, bro.
I am.
Man, just go on, scoot, bro. I got you, soldier.
Shut up, that RFA, Jimmy. Hold on. Hold on a second. Just give me 1 minute. I'll fix it. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? How do you get to it? Damn it. It's not letting me get to the chat. Hold on. Well, fuck. Hold on. Okay, now I'm going to switch over to Court TV. Let's hear from what the reporter who was inside Hold on. I can't talk. I feel like I have to yell over because it's so loud in my ear. If anything else pops off between Jake and JLR, I'll get you guys back to that. But for now, this is what happened inside the courtroom with the guilty verdict and the sentencing.
The defendant's fate. 5 years on the low end, 99 on the high end. This all took place, of course, outside of our view because cameras were not allowed in this case. But Cody Thomas was in the courtroom. He now joins us from outside the courthouse. Cody, take us through it, starting with the verdict itself. Set the scene if you would.
Yeah, Ted, that's the big headline today, right? The verdict, guilty of that top charge of murder. And as you just stated, 5 to 99 years behind bars. We were sitting in there. We were waiting for that verdict to come in. We reconvened once they let us know it was happening. We sat in there, waited for those parties to come back in, and then that verdict was read. And of course, we know the jury had the option of manslaughter if they chose that, but they did not. Clearly, they did not see this as self-defense. They thought this was murder. They thought he went in there, you know, in the altercation, there was intention behind what he did, because they really outlined the definition of murder before the jury went back to deliberate, that it was the deliberate, the intentional cause of harm or death by another person. So that's the way the jury saw it. And of course, Ted, the reaction in the courtroom, there was tears on both sides, obviously for two different reasons. You know, the Metcalf side feels that there's been, you know, vindication for their son's death. There's been justice served. But on the Karmelo side, of course, now Karmelo's going to jail for a very long time. We'll be seeing his family through plexiglass for a very long time. It's just sad all the way around. I'm observing both sides, of course. Again, tears from the Metcalf family, tears from that side. Karmelo just looking very shocked.
I just want you guys to know, you're not missing anything with JLR. He's currently buffering. So we would just be sitting here listening to nothing, just so you know. Okay.
They brought him out and they, you know, informed him that he's been reprimanded by the state of Texas. And then he went out for a little bit while they did a quick, they went out and then they reconvened for a punishment phase, a quick little punishment phase. His mother got on the stand for a few minutes just saying, you know, asking the jury to please have mercy on her son, saying that she feels, she knows her baby, she will always love her baby, and feels that he does regret this. He's very sorry. That's what she said. It was only about a 3 to 4 minute time on the witness stand for that punishment phase. The state rested during that punishment phase. She was the only witness called. And then Karmelo, as she was talking, she was crying, obviously. He had his head down crying. But when he walked back in the room before she took the stand, Ted, he just had a very shocked look on his face, like, this is real now, because we know he's been out on bond the whole time, which, of course, is a very real situation, but it's hard for it to sink in when you've been at home, not behind bars for the past year and some change. But now he'll never be able to walk inside his home again. So, of course, a lot of emotion out here outside the courthouse here, Ted. A lot of, differing opinions, but everything's seemingly civil for right now. Of course, there's a little bit of yelling. There's some people with megaphones. There's a bit of shouting, but everything's kind of tame right now. You can see that there are several sheriff's cars behind me. The security has been amped up a little bit, but it's a heavy scene here outside this Collin County Courthouse, Ted.
Yeah, I would imagine. Both sides were given an opportunity to argue in front of the jury during the penalty phase, and both sides declined that opportunity.
Yeah, they both declined, statements to make, opening statements. They just went straight into the witnesses, which there's only the one singular witness, which was Karmelo's mother. There was no arguments back and forth. The defense asked a couple of questions. Do you feel that Karmelo regrets this? She says, yes, I know my son. He's very sorry about this. I just want the court to, have mercy on him. And then the state, if you call it a cross-examination, all he said was, that you will still be a part of your son's life as any other mother on this earth. We know you love your son very much. And then he passed the witness, and then, Ted, that was it. Very brief, under 5 minutes there. But again, very emotional on both sides. The jury came back in looking, very serious with their decision. They came back in, they gave the paper to the judge. The judge read the decision, and that's when, of course, the emotion broke loose. But there was a lot of hugs on the Metcalf side, a lot of tears, of course, on the Karmelo side, a lot of tears on the Metcalf side as well. So emotion on both sides here, and of course, emotion outside this courthouse. Got a little crowd building up out here right now in the parking lot, Ted.
Yeah, and this was the first time that Hunter Metcalf was in the courtroom. Of course, the twin that lost his brother for such a horrible, nonsensical reason at a track meet. They were both competing. Any observations about Hunter? Because this is the first time he's been in the courtroom. He wasn't called as a witness. What can you tell us?
Yeah, first time we saw him, Ted, and a lot of, we were expecting him to be called under the prosecution's case. We thought that was going to be probably one of the final witnesses to kind of end their case with a bang, but they never called him. And, we kind of assumed that because he wasn't inside the courtroom throughout the duration of the trial, and we know testifying witnesses cannot be inside the courtroom in the gallery while other witnesses are testifying. So that's why people thought he was going to take the stand, but of course he ultimately did not. But we saw him walk in today, a little expressionless, kind of walked in, sat with his mom and dad, and once his verdict jury came down, there was some celebratory gestures on the Metcalf side, and then, of course, a lot of tight hugs and everything, but we only saw him for those brief minutes there before both sides eventually left the gallery and presumably left this courthouse now. We don't know if they're in the back room somewhere, but they walked out of the courtroom, of course.
What happens now? The jury will be charged again with some brief instructions, I assume, before deliberations begin?
Yeah, that's what's happening right now, Ted. They're having a charge conference right now, and then they'll go back there and then deliberate the punishment. So that's where we're at right now. That's why I was able to come out here and give this update to make sure our viewers are updated on the latest and greatest facts that come out of this case. But yeah, that's what they're doing right now. The attorneys are having a charge conference. Then it will go to that jury so they can deliberate what the fate will be of Karmelo Anthony. Of course, with that charge, he's facing 5 to 99 years behind bars. Very serious offense here, Ted, that he's now been convicted of.
Yeah, the top charge against him, 5 to 99. Life without parole is not on the table, though, because of his age, correct? And so that this jury will decide that number to which he will be eligible for parole and or serve. I saw you looking to the side there. Things are quiet. We've seen different versions of, people in each other's faces, then sort of relaxed. Are people leaving, going home, or staying?
No, they're still congregating on both sides. There's kind of this, trying to describe it to you, right in front of the courthouse, there's kind of this middle road. There's middle road and some medians on both sides, but that middle road's kind of blocked off, and they're kind of in front of the barricades here with, I'm counting, roughly a dozen sheriff's deputies out here making sure that the peace is still here, but they're yelling across the way at each other, of course, the opposing side.
That's how I feel, Nate. Nate said, I'm surprised that they convicted on the highest count. It would have helped to been able to see the trial. That's how I feel. I'm disappointed that we were not able to see the trial. Just FYI, you guys, JLR is currently still buffering it. Now the screen is black, like you can't even you can't even like skip forward. I've refreshed like 11 billion times. I don't know what's going on. I'll keep you apprised. They said protesting at 6, Nature Rock, that JLR, somebody said, walked by, and JLR said that there was a protest for 6 o'clock, not a riot.
Here, whether they're for the Metcalf family, for the Karmelo Anthony family. So they're over here now. It's, I don't know, maybe 100 people out here. Of course, some of them don't want to get in the shot, so I'll refrain from, painting the camera over because I don't want to instigate or escalate anything. But there's plenty of law enforcement out here making sure everything is safe.
And that has been the case throughout. This jury's worked very hard, and the judge has kept a very rapid pace. We thought maybe this case would go at least through the end of this week, but here we are on Tuesday and already wrapping it up. Even a 9-hour session on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, we started on Thursday when official testimony started. Jury selection was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Got underway on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. 9 days each, minimal breaks, only 40-minute lunch breaks and a couple of 10-minute afternoon breaks. So the pedal was to the metal here during this case, Ted. We were all kind of shocked when the state rested after only 21 witnesses on Saturday, and then the defense called 3 witnesses Saturday. They called 3 witnesses Monday morning, and then they rested kind of abruptly yesterday. So they only called 6 witnesses. And of course, like you just said, we expected this to run through the end of the week, but here we are on Tuesday and a verdict, in the early afternoon. So there was a really rapid pace here, and they're already getting into the punishment phase. Well, they've gone through the punishment phase. Now they're going to get to the sentencing phase. So they're really trying to put a bow on this thing, and I guess for this community to move on and continue to heal on both sides of the spectrum here.
Will you get notification if, when a verdict has been reached in terms of the penalty phase?
Absolutely. I'll be there inside giving you the latest, Ted. I'll get a notification. We're on a thread here. All the media will know when to go back inside, when to be in there promptly, when they're done with that charge conference, and when they hand that off to the jury to begin deliberating. So, of course, when I get information, you guys will get information.
All right, which has been the case throughout. And Cody Thomas has been our eyes and ears in this case.
Normally do it because the jury is actually away from me. What the hell? Hold on.
From adequate cause. If the defendant proves the issue in the affirmative.
Hold on.
the state did an excellent job, you could argue, in their presentation of.
Right. I don't know why they went to the boat trial.
To understand the defense strategy here in the.
Give me just a second, you guys. I'll find us something to watch. Hold on. All right. Give me just a sec. Now we're just waiting. So, to be fair, as far as like the evidence, the case, okay, all I know for facts, because I didn't get to watch the trial, so I can't really speak to what was presented, what wasn't presented, the weight of what was presented or the lack of weight. But, hang on, let me turn this down. It's way loud in my ear. All right. Anyway, so back in April of 2025, there was a track meet. And there was some sort of confrontation. And the problem is all of who did what and who was the aggressor, if there was an aggressor, etc., all comes down to that video from inside of that tent that we can't see because there were no cameras allowed in the courtroom. But at the end of it, Karmelo, and he doesn't deny this, he stabbed Jake once in the chest and he got him right in the heart. And that is all I can say actually with any type of certainty. Because like I said, I'm not going to report, I'm not going to give you guys an opinion or an assessment on a trial that I couldn't even watch. You know, I just think that I wish that they would have, I understand why they did it, but I wish that they would have allowed cameras in the courtroom for transparency, because I think it causes more issues than not. Hey, Lil D, thanks for being a member for 9 months. I appreciate that so much. All right, let me hear if there's anything going on.
Obviously, there's a lot to decide. They are preparing for the penalty phase immediately. So our Cody Thomas is in the courtroom sending us notes.
What are you talking about
real-time.
preparing? They've been, it's prepared. They already presented it. So I don't know what you're talking about preparing.
They've taken a short break, but no one is allowed to leave the courtroom. This same jury that decided guilt or innocence will decide punishment in this case. Karmelo Anthony, of course, admits to stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a track meet in Frisco, Texas last year. He was underneath the Memorial High School tent, was Karmelo Anthony, but he didn't go to Memorial High School. And when Austin and his brother Hunter Metcalf, they're twins, approached him, they argued. And after being pushed, Karmelo Anthony reached into a bag and grabbed a 4-inch knife and stabbed Austin Metcalf to death. With one stab to the heart, he bled out. Hunter Metcalf, the twin, did not testify at trial, but he is in the courtroom now. And according to our Cody Thomas, there were tears when the jury verdict was read on the Anthony side of the courtroom, also on the Metcalf side of the courtroom. Outside of the courthouse, reaction is, well, you can see it live. There are many people gathered outside of the courthouse. There were no cameras allowed inside the courtroom. So because of that, people have gathered throughout this trial. And today, as word comes that there's a guilty verdict, there is reaction. We will monitor.
Okay, so I do want to address this. While there's been a lot of talk about this, that it was an all-white jury. Here's the deal. That's not accurate. There was one juror was what they said. This is their words. It was described as potentially Asian, Middle Eastern, and then I believe the other ethnicity is Hispanic. So there were no African Americans on the jury, but there were Asian, Hispanic, and Middle Eastern. That's how they've been described. So I think that, that, I don't know. I feel like saying, and not you specifically, Sharp Family Switchblade, because I know this is what's made it so hard. And this is why I was so hesitant to cover this case, because there are different reports coming out from the courtroom. And I just feel like it would have been a lot better. I think it would have, people were going to be pissed regardless. Okay. There was not going to be anybody that was going to be, nobody was going to come out of this, no, I know, babe. I know that's why you asked. Nobody was going to come out of this without one side or the other was going to be pissed. Okay. People were going to be pissed one way or the other. But the lack of transparency, I think, has added to the anger, added to the frustration, and added to the narrative, or not, I don't want to use narrative, that's not the right word, but the impression that something in the milk ain't clean. Do you know what I mean? And so I think that is the problem. And I wish that it would have been different, but it wasn't. So I'm going to switch over to of the local news, which is Fox for DFW. I just would like to point out, just as a side note, that this is the channel that Ashley Banfield started on. I'm just saying. All right, give me just a second.
Verdict a little bit after 1:30. It is now 3:42. And do you still see that all of this will end today, that it will wrap up today?
Yes, I guess. If you let me, once we know what time they start reading the charge and how much time he gives for closing arguments, but more likely than not, again, the jurors have some idea in their mind, and when they go into deliberations, there's going to be a debate regarding the number. And somebody may say, well, I could never agree to that. So I do think it may go relatively quickly. And in order for it not to do that, somebody has to feel very strongly about a particular position that they will not change no matter what. And I don't know, as I understand this group of jurors, and again, taken from that initial verdict, that type of division would be among this group of 12 citizens. So those are the things that are indicating to me that this.
All right, so this is where this is the issue right here, right now. It sounds like, from what this attorney is saying on this channel, that the sentencing phase has not even begun yet. But that's not what other news outlets are reporting, including CBS Texas, which is, I think, if I remember correctly, it's been a hot minute since I've watched local news, but watch, I'll show you. All right, so this is what CBS 11 is reporting.
You mentioned.
All right, the jury finds Karmelo Anthony guilty of murder. Prosecution and defense waive opening statements. Prosecution rests. Defense calls Karmelo's mom. Punishment phase ends after one witness. Jury will deliberate sentence of 5 to 99 years. That sounds like that's what they're doing.
But yeah, there have been several people out here. Like I said, I saw strollers. There are a lot of kids down there kind of in the middle of everything.
Yeah. You said that you didn't know if it was going to become physical. You didn't know if it was going to get violent. Did you actually see, I guess, beyond the pushing?
So Lil D says, did they do impact statements? So some reports are saying that victim impact statements will be after sentencing. That does happen in Texas. So that's what they're reporting. Who knows? Because we can't get a clear answer from the damn courtroom. I'm so frustrated. All right, we'll listen to this for a little bit.
Did was that the extent of any kind of violence that you saw?
Yes, it didn't get physical. It's just a lot of.
Hold on, lady. I'll keep looking for better streams. Okay, don't you guys worry. I got you. We're not gonna miss nothing. Okay.
Screaming. We approached a woman that was visibly upset and asked her if she wanted to interview, and she turned on us. And I was honestly worried that was going to get physical. Like I said, people are so upset that I've just kind of let them be because nobody really wants to talk during that. But yeah, I didn't see any actual violence. Just people getting, very close to one another.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. I wanted to bring her.
Yeah.
Has been the one up there.
Ask her, because we are seeing.
Did you have questions?
Just from our aerial view, we're seeing a lot of sheriff's deputies out there. They're noticeable in their cowboy hats. Are they doing a good job of keeping the crowds apart? These two sides, or are they just there in case things go?
Sorry, we're going to go over to WFAA. I trust them. We watch these. It's the same people that we watched, the same reporters that we watched during Athena's murder, the murder of Athena Strand. They are trustworthy. I shall be switching that right now because now I'm annoyed by all of this. All right, here we go.
State getting to ask him why he did certain things and underlying facts of the case. So, I think at the end of the day, defense understands. Jury's already found him guilty. Mom testified that he was remorseful. Mom's clearly emotional. Both families are emotional, and they're going to leave the jury with that to determine.
Do you also run the risk of things coming in that you don't want to come in?
Absolutely. There could be things, and I don't know what that could be, but if he testifies, if there's any bad act, if he kicked a dog whenever he was 10 years old and the state knew about it, they could put it in punishment because all relevant bad acts come in. So, it might not be a criminal act. It might not be something that they got charged with, but if there's other things out there, social media stuff.
All right, you guys want to switch over to that one? We can. Listen, I'm here for y'all. So whatever y'all want to watch, we will watch.
And Tanya, you and I have seen.
Hold on.
We have seen people and witnesses take the stand.
Let me go back.
They did not look remorseful. And then there are others that got up there on the stand and cried. I can think of some of the police involved shooting type cases, murder cases that we covered, where it can impact how the jury sentences you.
All right, hold on. I'll get us over there. You're going to hear from.
Amber Geiger was quite emotional.
All right, hold on. I'll get it for you guys. Don't you worry your pretty little heads. I got you. Hold on. All right, here we go.
Back. Sorry, folks.
I literally ran into the woods. He said he's going to his car, and then he ran into the woods. And then he thought he lost me, but I got him. Nah, he's immature. I'm sorry?
No, I called him Jake from State Farm, and I am the most mature person I know.
Sorry, folks. Guy literally ran in the woods.
Is there a figuratively running into the
My
woods?
feet are soaking.
FYI.
Soaking wet. I went into a creek. He literally hopped the creek and tried to run away. Sorry, out of my character. Back to regular scheduled programming.
Okay.
He ran into a creek and then he snuck up and got into his white car. Yeah, and he put his head down and I got the license plate. I don't know if his name is Jake.
No, I don't either. I mean,
Well, I got the license plate. I will soon.
so I went inside to use the restroom, and I spoke to Cody from TV, and he came back up the escalator. He came back and he said that his mom told him got on the stand.
Mom did?
Yeah, I didn't like that, and he's crying.
Oh, he's crying?
He's crying.
Reception here, is we good or we still spot?
Yeah, you can reconnect.
All right, let me connect. Here, you want to chart? Here, you chart this. You chart. All right, we're live. Live outside the Karmelo Anthony trial. He must got into it with a bunch of people. Yeah, I think I don't know, but there's going to be a massive protest here at 6 p.m. That's what I'm told here. There's going to be a protest here at 6 p.m. We'll check it out.
Okay, so just so you guys know, over on WFAA, I feel like I have to scream over, and I don't know why I don't just like do the responsible good streamer thing and just turn the volume down in my ear. But on WFAA, they're reporting that there will be victim impact statements. It's going to be after the sentencing, after the jury comes back and says, okay, this is what we've decided. That's what everybody is waiting for. I know that they're going to have this wrapped up today, because if they had not finished today, like with deliberations, the judge was going to sequester them. He wanted them kept safe. He wanted them uninfluenced. So at this point, we're just waiting to hear what the jury decides. So that's what we're waiting for. And I probably will watch the protest, but here's the thing. I'm just going to tell you guys, I don't want to stream it. All right. Like this is a community that I was a part of for a very, very long time. I mean, like I said, Minnie Bindi grew up, a good portion of her childhood was spent in Frisco, Texas. My oldest 3 kids all went to Frisco High School. So I know where Centennial is. Now, Frisco Legacy is a newer high school. I've never seen that or been by there or whatever, but I know the other high schools. I just don't know if anything gets like, yeah, bad or whatever. Like, I just don't know if I want to be live and trying to said, I just don't want to, I don't want to be like streaming it and then see something I don't want to see, or, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, Amber. Oh yeah. This is sad for me. I mean, it would be sad for me anyway, but I feel like, hold on. I feel like when I heard him say, um, there's supposed to be a major protest or whatever at 6 p.m., it was like there was glee in his voice. And I'm never, like, I've watched protests that have happened all around our country, okay? I've never been excited to watch a fucking protest ever, okay? And he's saying it as if he expects there to be some, shit kicked off and he's going to get it. And I just don't understand that. And so, like, I don't, you know what I mean? It kind of pisses me off. This is a terrible situation. There are no winners here. Okay. A young man is dead. His family is heartbroken, and especially his brother. Like, I don't think people know. I don't know firsthand, obviously. I'm not a twin, but I do have twins in my family, and I know how close twins are. And like, that's a loss on a different level. And then you have Carmelo Anthony, who there's not that much of an age difference between Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. Okay. They were both 17 at the time, although Carmelo Anthony was a few months shy of his 18th birthday. He's now 19. Okay. They're roughly the same age. If Austin Metcalf had lived, and he lost his life. And a protest, yes, neat. I should make that distinction. Protesting is a right that we have in the United States of America. And protesting without rioting, when the protest goes from a protest to a riot, that is a problem. Uh-oh, what's happening? Hold on.
Letters to me, and we read them on the air. It's from people that have PTSD, that firefighters, police officers, or just people like you and me, man.
Nice. God bless you.
And what you do, man.
Okay. So anyway, I don't want it, but it sounds like from the just the tone of JLR's voice was like he was hoping that some fucked up shit would go down. And I can't get behind that. Really, I'm just trying to get some time so that we can hear what the sentencing is for Carmelo. Like, there's nobody's going to win at this. Carmelo can go away from, be in prison from 5 to 99 years. Okay. Let's talk about that. Let's say he gets the low end. It's a 19-year-old going into an adult prison. I can assure you that there are no easy, chill prisons located in the state of Texas. There just are not. This is also an extremely high profile case. So that puts him at an even greater risk. Okay. But it's still prison. You see a lot of shit when you're in prison. It's the way the prison system in the United States is. It is what it is. Okay. There's no, we're talking about, 5 years. It's going to change him permanently. Nobody wins. Nobody wins in this. Mally says, I have siblings that are twins and a niece and a nephew that are twins. The connection between twins is strong. I was watching, let's just not watch him anymore. Like, I don't know. I just don't want to do it. We'll go back to WFAA for a while. Hold on a second. Let me see what's happening over here. They're on a commercial. Just give me a second. I'll just talk for a little while. If there's anything happens, I'll let you guys know. But I watch Kaulitz, the twins from Tokyo Hotel, and Tom and Bill. And their show is just so freaking endearing. You know, the relationship that they have together is so endearing. And the way that Tom, because Tom is the one, Tom is married to Heidi Klum, and he worries and fusses over Bill finding a partner.
We have seen some folks gathering there from both sides of this.
I need a
Crowds of
minute, you guys.
onlookers gathering every day of this trial. People lining up early in the morning trying to get one of the coveted seats inside the courtroom. Here's a ground shot of part of the crowd that we're still seeing this afternoon. This trial has gone on for a week now. Some of the folks who have been coming are from out of town. Some are high schoolers. All of them, though, proof of the far-reaching interest in this case and the emotional impact that this case has had. In April of 2025, Karmelo Anthony, who was then...
Hold on, this is so apropos. Cammie says, there is never a winner when our youth are doing this to each other. Exactly. Thank you. That's what I've been trying to say. Sharp Family says nobody wins. Yeah. I don't, Lil D says, can someone tell me where MJ has been? I've seen her in a few chats, but as far as going live, I have not. I also need to address Wolfie real quick. Are you ready, Wolfie? Hi, Kevin. All right, let's get back to it. I need a little break. My voice, I need to get something to drink. My voice is starting to get all bad.
Student at Frisco Centennial High School was arrested and charged for the stabbing death of Austin Metcalf at a high school track meet at Kirkendall Stadium there in Frisco. Metcalf was a student at Frisco Memorial. Anthony was charged with murder by the Collin County District Attorney. Prosecutors had the burden of showing that he meant to, that he knew he was causing the death of Austin Metcalf following that stabbing at the track meet after there was a confrontation under the Memorial High School tent where Anthony had been sitting. He was being asked to leave since that was a rival school's tent. He produced a knife out of his bag and stabbed Austin Metcalf in the chest. During a 7-day trial, the state said that he knew what he was doing, that he intended to murder Austin Metcalf. The defense, however, arguing that Anthony was just acting in self-defense, that he was protecting himself that day. Anthony was 17 years old at the time, which is considered an adult under Texas law. However, this case does not qualify to be charged as a capital murder because of the circumstances of the case. So the death penalty and life in prison without parole were not possibilities here. Now, we have the verdict in. That is guilty. We just learned that a little while ago from the jury in this case. Now we are in the sentencing phase. It moved on, as I said, immediately to that point of the case. Murder in this case carries a sentence of 5 to 99 years in prison, although if you've been with us on WFAA Plus, you know that there is the possibility here that the defense could get 2 to 20 years as an option in front of the jury as well. So we're going to get into all of this here in this hour. We have experts there at the courthouse. We, of course, have been in that courtroom all day, every day that this trial has been happening. We have been live blogging this as updates have been coming down. We have Jobin Puneker, who is still in the courtroom right now. He just sent as an update a little while ago saying that the jury is now back in the courtroom and that the judge was reading the punishment jury instructions. So he's basically letting them know, here's what you can consider, here's what you cannot consider, and then they're going to send the jury out and they will immediately immediately begin deliberating punishment in this case. Senior crime and justice reporter Rebecca Lopez and investigative reporter Tanya Iser have been live with us all afternoon on WFAA+. We also have some expert analysis from a whole team of attorneys that we've had all week, and we continue that today. You all, the coverage has been really solid and very informative, and I would just like to turn it over to you right now, and if you can just sort of give us the lay of the land as you see it from where you are right now.
Well, Jason, the day began with closing arguments, as you said, in the guilt-innocence phase. And then the jury got this case at around 11 o'clock. And then in less than 2 hours, this jury was back, surprising many people. A lot of our legal experts that have been with us, that have been inside the courtroom, thought that the deliberations would last longer. Bill Wertzke is a very seasoned prosecutor. He prosecuted this case. Many people felt like he just did a really, really good job on the other side. You had the defense, who has been trying to keep Karmelo Anthony out of jail. The jury began deliberating, and they came back with that very quick guilty verdict. And now we are in the punishment phase. We only heard from one witness in the punishment phase. Both sides waived their decision to actually give any kind of opening statements, and so they basically, the defense started right away with the prosecution calling no witnesses at all. Only Karmelo Anthony's mother took the stand to ask this jury to give her son mercy, that he was remorseful. Our legal analyst, Keith Harris, has been inside the courtroom today. Give us an idea of the atmosphere of what it was like in there.
You know, very orderly, because Judge Roach runs a tight ship, so people knew exactly what was expected of them. You know, so people were sitting there listening to everything. You could just tell just the tension in there from a standpoint. You have two families that really have a lot on the line and everything. And so you kind of see the Metcalf family on one side, the Anthony family on the other side. Both families very emotional. After the verdict was read, relief, I think, by the Metcalf family, obviously.
Okay, so let me get you. Hold on a second. Okay, so there were no cameras used in the courtroom, allowed in the courtroom, but let me show you guys. I don't want to watch this because it's on YouTube, but this is the knife that they are saying was used. Okay, this is there was only an artist rendering, so I can't. You know, this is what they drew. Hold on. This right here. Oh, you can't see that, me pointing at that, because obviously this right here is what they're talking about. Okay. This comes from Reddit. I hesitate to use the picture from Reddit over here only because, well, I just can't, like, I know that came out of the, I know that came out from the artist rendering. And so, yeah, it was just, so, okay, this is what the testimony apparently has been. This is what's kind of like hard about all of this, just because we didn't hear it. So what's being reported is basically that it started to rain, and they had a tent, and that was the tent closest. But also there was somebody from Centennial that actually invited Anthony or Karmelo Anthony into the tent, and it was the event itself has been sort of described as like friendly. Everybody was kind of commingling. So that how all of this happened and how it escalated to this is really difficult to ascertain. But let's just listen and see if we can get anything as they're recapping.
Disappointment by the Anthony family. But one thing that amazed me is whenever they did have a break after that, there were just some people that got up, one, because they were emotional, and the judge had said, hey, if you've got emotions, you can't stay in here. And they got up and respectfully left. But then others that once they heard the verdict, they were done, they got up and they walked out and everything like that. So just a very big day for both families, both supporters on both sides of everything.
And obviously, Jason, there has been a lot of emotion out here. We've been showing video of how the crowd reacted. Tanya, talk a little bit about what we were seeing out here at times when it came to this crowd and the reaction, the moment that they started looking at their cell phones and seeing that verdict come across.
Well, you're right, Rebecca. I mean, we had gotten word maybe 30 or 45 seconds before, and you could audibly hear the moment that people behind us were hearing that verdict, because we saw people just go to the ground, tears and upset, and suddenly that crowd was beginning to grow. People were beginning to get upset. It was at one point the crowd moved over behind us, and it was very tense. Now it seems to, at this point, have really settled down. We saw additional Collin County Sheriff's deputies come up, and we talked about this earlier, that Collin County Sheriff's Department has, the deputies out here have shown enormous restraint in how they've handled these crowds, and I think that's kept the tensions and things from actually occurring.
Absolutely. We actually right now are seeing a DPS trooper. So they have some of their partners that are coming in to help, and they've done a very good job at de-escalating this. Inside the courtroom, this case was never about race. It was about what happened under that tent at that track meet, and both sides, the lawyers, the families, everybody was cordial. Everyone agreed. It was out here sometimes that people that sometimes don't live in Collin County, some that came from out of state, that were yelling at one another and making this about race. But Jason, the families and the attorneys and everyone in that courtroom were listening to the evidence, following the law, and it was all very cordial. Jason, that is basically what is happening out here. We're going to toss it back to you.
Yeah, so much still for us to get to in this hour. We're going to fit in a quick break right here. Just to keep you updated, though, we just got a message from inside the courtroom that says closing arguments are underway now in the punishment phase of this trial. Each side gets 20 minutes for that. As we're still awaiting that portion of this trial, you can keep track of what's happening in the courtroom through this live blog that I keep referring to. We have a whole team dedicated to sharing the updates hour by hour, so you're not missing anything. You can find the article at...
Okay, hang on just a sec. All right, so to answer, I can only tell you guys, it's that's the way that it was described by many of the reporters, was like a utility knife. So DMC KDC says, will people be able to get transcripts when the case is officially done? In theory, yes, but I will tell you this. Trial transcripts are incredibly expensive. Even, they're very expensive. So, I mean, people can get them, but I would, it would probably take some crowdsourcing to get that done. For real. So Mally says, in my opinion, the issue is the fact that he had it at a track meet, not allowed. Okay, so I want to talk about that. What the type of knife, the size of the knife that Karmelo Anthony had was not illegal. However, it is against the school code of conduct to carry a knife at school or a school-sponsored event. So that is why, how do I say this? So it's what he did was what, just by virtue of having that knife, it was that he was not breaking a Texas law. What he was breaking was a school code of conduct law, or a school code of conduct rule, but the Texas law overrides a school code of conduct rule, so that's why he's charged the way he is, and not with anything else. This has been a huge question. Why didn't he just walk away and go to his own tent? So there has been, and without that video, which is something that I hope that gets released, both videos. So there is the video just in its raw form, but then there is the enhanced video, and I hope that they release both, because that's what many people, including myself, don't actually understand. What happened? How did it escalate to this point? There's been people that viewed the video from inside the courtroom that have said that Karmelo Anthony was sitting down when a group of 4 approached him from Centennial. And so is that why he didn't just walk away? And there was a push, alleged, that the story is that Karmelo Anthony was pushed by Austin Metcalf, and then there was an exchange where Karmelo said, touch me again and see what happens. And then the push came. It's all very convoluted. And also, so I don't know why he didn't just walk away. And the thing is, like I said earlier, I do think that without that video, it would be really hard to understand what happened, how it got to this point, what happened. I don't, and I think this too. Cammie said, I'm sure it will all come out soon. Transcripts and video, YouTube people have their way. Well, the media has their way as well. And I think this is something that the media, the mainstream media, the news outlets have been wanting to get their hands on for a long time, to understand it. And so hopefully there will be some answers to these questions. Like I said, it's just really disappointing. And while I understand why it was done this way, I think that Judge Roach overall, I think that he based his decisions on, first and foremost, Karmelo Anthony's right to a fair trial. Okay. And the second of all, the safety and the protection of anonymity of the jury. That is important. That's part of our system. It's a big, that's a foundation of our justice system, is a jury trial, and that the jurors can be and will remain anonymous.
We've been following that big breaking news all afternoon long of a verdict in the Karmelo Anthony trial, the track meet stabbing trial, that jury finding him guilty earlier this afternoon. We're going to have more coverage on that coming up here in just a few minutes.
So I think that the judge had to find a very delicate balance. Unfortunately, in trying to find that balance, it leaves the impression that the milk ain't clean. Mally, I'm not sure.
I mean, it could always be worse.
In the shade, when there's a breeze,
yeah,
kind of halfway okay.
Whether or not Karmelo's school
today we did
had a team tent or not.
We expected very much to do so, and
I
we
do,
continue to
there's
see lots
been,
of 90s in our forecast.
Nature Rock says his school didn't have one. There's been like a lot of back and forth. Was he invited? Was he not invited? How did, I don't think we care about
that wind out of the south between about
weather. It's hot. It's going to be hot. It's Texas. It's June in Texas. It's fucking hot. I just don't, we're just going to have to be patient for it all to come out. And when it all does come out, I hope that it does something to temper the anger and the frustration. All right. Amber says they had a team tent, but it was on a separate bus with other players. The whole team wasn't at the track yet. Justified says Carmelo's behavior that day is really confusing. Was he looking for trouble? He brings a knife. He purposely sits in an enemy camp. He mouths off about touch me and find out. It's just strange. Okay. I think we need to take a second and put ourselves back at the age of Karmelo and Austin and think about the guys that we knew and how they acted at that age. To me, it's not all that strange. If there were words exchanged back and forth, I can see a 17-year-old kid being like, touch me and find out what happens. Because they don't think about long-range consequences. Like their thinking is entirely in that second. That's it. And that's how it's Neat's right. Neat said it seems to come down to kids being young, dumb, and impulsive, and it's just a tragedy. It is. Yes, that's how her name is Justified. See, look, I'll show you. JSTFYD, Justified. I agree. DMCKDC says, I don't think this case has anything to do with race, just egos. That's what I think. I think after the fact, outside people have made it about race. But I think for those kids that were involved, I don't think it was about race at all. I think I think it was exactly what Neat said. It was kids being impulsive, reactionary, and it escalated. And I don't think anybody that day was actually looking for trouble. I don't think anybody could foresee that it would have escalated. And I'm talking about the teenagers involved. I don't think they thought this is how it was going to end. I think they thought there might be a little shit talking, some pushing and shoving. And the coaches were on were walking over. And I think they thought it was all going to be over in a hot second. Seriously. I don't think for them it's, I don't think, I mean, Justified said, even though I didn't get the normal high school experience like most of you, I do get the team rivalry part. I don't even think that was a big deal, the testosterone, but to go from a shove to a stab. Look, I'm just going to tell you how it is, how my experience was. There were always people who wrote checks their asses couldn't cash. And when it came right down to it, and it was time to get down with the get down, right? They were scared to take an ass whooping. And that's how it is sometimes. Maybe that was the situation here. Karmelo Anthony, basically his defense was, look, I was surrounded by a bunch of guys. It was me against, and his claim is that in his mind, it was him against, like, just because it was Austin, who he was directly in conflict with in that moment. I mean, we've all seen teenage guys. We know that I can't imagine that the other guys that were standing around were being silent. I'm sure there was shit talking going on, and it escalated. That's what I think. Is it something that this is a generational thing? In my day, when I was in high school, you talked shit. Sometimes it escalated. If there was a fight, like they say in Goodfellas, everyone takes a beating one time or another, right? So that is what it is. And I think that is what happened. I don't think that anybody was looking for trouble, not like that.
The defense is now speaking to the jury. It will have 20 minutes to make its final argument to the jury, and then the jury will begin deliberating punishment, which could go between 5 and 99 years in prison, although the defense is also making the case here that this was a murder that was committed out of a burst of passion, and that therefore the jury should be allowed to consider 2 to 20 years punishment as well for Karmelo Anthony. Karmelo Anthony, after the verdict, by the way, was taken out of the courtroom, shaking his head and crying and looking back toward his parents there in the courtroom. As you saw a moment ago, we've been watching the scene overhead from our chopper as well. A crowd has been gathered there this afternoon as that verdict has come down. And we're going to take a quick break right here. Our coverage of this will continue on the other side. Stay with us.
It's going to be forever before we get a sentencing. There's been a lot of, I think this is what Amber said. Amber says it was reported that Melo said Memorial's team was ass. And I think that's what set the whole series of events into motion. And that's when they decided he couldn't be at that tent anymore. Yeah, I mean, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like shit talking that escalated to a place that it never should have gone. I'll say this. DMC KDC says, I wish we knew more about Karmelo, just like his character and all the pics I've seen of him. He's never smiling or anything. I don't think he has. I think this has weighed very heavily. I will say that some of the recaps that I watched from WFAA, they talked about seeing that body cam footage as first responders arrived on the scene. And Karmelo Anthony reportedly was very upset, like for the initial speaking with law enforcement, like immediately after what happened. He said something like, there's no allegedly to it. I did it. He put hands on me. And then a few seconds later, he is crying. And he was upset, and the weight of what he did, it's been reported that he felt remorse, that he felt badly, and it all just hit him. And I will tell you guys that I intentionally chose pictures to use for my thumbnail that were the same. One of them is the one of Austin. He's wearing a suit. the one of Karmelo Anthony, he's wearing a suit because I did not want to. I feel like there's enough like hype, I guess, around the case that I'm not trying to add to it. So if it's gonna be, I don't want to I wanted to wait and for sentencing, but you guys, my back really, really hurts. I don't think I can sit here in this chair for much longer. And it sounds like it's going to be a while before we get a sentencing. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let you guys go. Can one of you mods, if I have one in here, I might not have one anymore. Let me see. Could somebody drop Allie's channel? Let me go get Alex Erickson's link to her live. Allie is going to be covering the calls with some jail calls with Mackenzie Shirilla. I think tonight. I don't know if she has it scheduled. Yes, she does. Okay. So let me get you guys that link. Let me tell you something. If y'all have not been listening if y'all have not heard any of the calls from jail with Mackenzie, her friends, her sister, and and with her mom, bruh, not to be missed. Definitely want to be there for that tonight and listen to that because they're not Letitia in that way, like Letitia, but they are just as like eye roll worthy. I've listened to them and like on like 99% of them at one time or another, I have rolled my eyes so far to the back of my head and so hard that I have seen both Alice and Max brains, the cat. So yeah, it's not to be missed. I think we should let Mac have the last word. What do you think, Mac? I know, Mac. Can you believe this bullshit? So there you guys have it. I appreciate everybody being here. If you haven't done so, could you do me a favor and give your girl a thumbs up? I would appreciate it, or a thumbs down, however you feel I did. Like, I'm open to criticism. You guys know that. I missed the dad's interview. I haven't got to watch that yet because I've been like trying to catch up with this Karmelo Anthony situation and watching recaps. So I haven't gotten to see that yet, but I am going to. Also, before I forget, don't leave y'all yet. I haven't dismissed the class. Get back here. Maitland, Athena's mom, gave a really good interview yesterday, and I've watched it. Broke my heart, but I think that it's something we need to hear because I think it is a reminder that for us, we watch the trials, right? And for the most part, for us, that the case is over, but these families, they still have to go on. And she talks a lot about things that happened during the trial, and it's a really, really good interview. And I want to talk about that tomorrow morning. So I hope you guys will join me for that. I'm thinking 10-ish. What do you guys think? Does that sound okay? And then also I would like to discuss with you what trial should we go over next? What should be next for us to sit around and talk about during the day? All right. So I'm going to let you go for now. I hope you guys have a great rest of your afternoon. I hope I see you over in Allie's tonight. And until then, you guys take care and behave yourselves. Bye.